All right, boys and girls, so today we are going to be learning about the Ndebele people and their homes. As you can see right here, they're kind of geometric, but I want you to know where it is. So here is a picture of Africa, and as I scroll down lower, we get to a country called South Africa. And right where it's circled in that little pink spot in South Africa is a tribe of people that live there called the Ndebele. This is a typical Ndebele house. It's round, it has a thatched roof, kind of like what we have here with cheeky huts where we use things from nature, but they trim it so it looks all kind of perfect and smooth like that. But they also use these beautiful geometric patterns on the outside. Sometimes they have an arched roof or doorway, sometimes it's rectangular. And this is an Ndebele woman. Typically, they will have like a wool piece of fabric around their shoulders, and they will have gold rings around their necks and their wrists and their legs. Now, these Ndebele women, because it is the women who do the painting, will design these designs on their homes, and they actually change it quite often. And they use different colors and different designs, but the designs that are in them are meant to be symbolic of things that you and I don't know, because they're meant to be understood by only the people within the tribe. So that if another tribe came and walked through there, they would not know what the messages were that were maybe hidden in these designs, but the people of the tribe do. This woman's name is Esther. She's an Ndebele woman, and she has actually become quite famous. She even travels to museums and will do installations there, and she's even painted on cars. Now, I know that you want to make an Ndebele house, so watch this. First, we took a piece of paper and we folded it in half. This is something you could do at home with a piece of paper right out of your printer. Now, with the fold there, we made a mark kind of high. And then on the part that's not folded on the outside, we have a mark going low. Now look at these Ndebele houses. Do you see the line that I'm making? I'm showing you that the designs are almost like a staircase design that's going up up the step. And then near the top, they might get a little bit rounded, or they'll do something sort of diamond shaped. This one even steps down and then steps up. You're going to be doing the same type of thing starting at the lower mark, and you're going to be imagining your own set of steps moving up and eventually ending up where that other mark is. Now, you're going to be taking your scissor and starting there, and then just out of your brain, you're going to start to pivot those scissors around so that you can make a staircase. Now, I don't care what grade you are in, we have had kids who really have a hard time cutting like that. So let me just tell you, first of all, if you have a hard time doing it, don't be embarrassed. A lot of kids have. When you have to actually turn a set of scissors like that, you feel a little bit like the paper's in the way and everything's in the way. The first thing is that I always kind of like to think of a pair of scissors as a alligator's mouth where it's wide open and you can see his tongue all the way in the back. That's what you're going to do when you pivot. You're going to have that scissor nice and open, and you just have to turn your scissor. That part's easy. It's right here when it's almost like you're figuring out how to have the paper up and you're kind of fitting in between. If you struggle with it, like I said, don't worry, we can come and help you. So here I am again, once again, using my scissor, and I'm doing up and down and up and down. I did a little curve here, and then I decided to do a little stair step. You'll find your own design. And when you're done, you're going to open it up and be like, what? I'm a genius. Because that looks amazing. Now, if you think to yourself, you know what, I think I want a window. Right on the fold, if you make a few cuts, in this case, I'm kind of planning for a diamond. If you see a piece fall out, you are golden. When you open it up, you are going to have an opening there. And if you decide I want to do a door, well, sometimes their doors are rectangular, but I was kind of thinking of an arched doorway. I'm thinking of that arch, and remember, I'm only cutting out like half of it because I'm cutting it on the fold. I'm going to come up and over. Now, if you go that far and you don't see a piece fall out, and you open it up and you're like, what happened? It's because you didn't cut it all the way out. Remember, your scissor has to go all the way from one end to another, and when that piece comes out, then you're going to know that you actually have something there. If you're feeling a little advanced today and you want side windows, watch this. You'll take what you did and you'll fold it again. And then on that fold, you can cut out a different shape. And once again, if you see a piece fall out, when you open it up, you're going to have some windows. How happy is that? So now is time for you to start to decorate, just like the Ndebele women did. They are not using markers though, lucky you. You are going to go around the outside edge, nice and neat. There's no reason to hurry. We want these lines to be very bold and very clear. Now, you're going to be using these big black markers to first outline and then do some designs. But you must understand that when we're using a marker like this, we are asking a lot of that marker. It's having to give us a lot of dark ink. And after a while, if you use it, it's going to start to get wimpy like that. I'm going to tell you, I don't want you to think that you have to throw it away. Just cap that marker, give it a little pat and say, you just rest now, honey. You just stay right there. And then get a different marker and use that one. Because the ink just needs a little bit of time to reload in the tip. The other bit of advice I'll give you is that when you use a bigger marker like this, you want to draw kind of slowly, just so that the ink can get into the paper. Now, if you watch me here, you'll see that in real life, what they do is they take their designs and they kind of divide them up into sections. It's like they're just making some separate spaces on their house to be able to put designs. So when I look at this, I know I can make a section by doing a line there, but then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I thought, oh, that's kind of a cool place to put a section, so I did a diagonal line there. And now you're going on to moving the designs. And some of you may remember that I told you that a lot of times they put sort of like a secret message or a symbol that everyone knew what it meant. Well, you're going to do the same thing, but about your life. My last name is Heeterks, so I am putting a capital H here. And because I did it on the left side, I'm going to do it on the right side as well. I have 2 daughters, so I'm going to draw 2 circles. I know what that means. No one else might know what that, well, you do now. I really love to draw. So I'm making a design here that I know is a pencil, but someone else might go, oh, it's just a zigzag with a little, thing. I love to crochet, so I'm making a little crochet hook there. And again, I'm doing it on both sides. My family has had 2 dogs, so I made 2 dog paws on there. My name is Anne, so I put a letter A. So you're just going to keep thinking, oh, that's right, I love mountains. So I did some mountains there. And I'm married to Doug. That name's with a D, so I have a D and then a backwards D on the other side. Now, if you start to run out of ideas, I get it. That happened to me too. So then I just looked at one of our idea sheets and I just stole a few ideas off of there to fill in the rest of my designs. Because you're thinking ahead to when you start coloring this, it's nice to know that you've kind of made like a coloring page for yourself where you're going to have things to color in. So once you're convinced that you've just got this amazing thing going on, then you're going to get ready to color. So here I have a marker, and when I do purple on one side, I'm going to do purple on the other. Now, a word about these markers. You, when you take a cap off, might notice that the tip comes to a point. And for most people, that's as far as they ever go. They just use the tip of it to make that thin line. But what you may not know is that if you angle the way you hold the marker and get the broad side of that, you can actually color in very quickly by making these thick lines and using the side of the marker tip. Rather than using the thin one and going back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, and forth, back, and forth, back, and forth, if you just kneel, just kind of slide it over a little bit, angle it down, then you can get the wide part. So I'm going to continue coloring in here, making sure it's symmetrical, the same thing on the left as I do on the right. And actually, when you look at the Ndebele houses, they do not mind at all leaving some parts white. So you can just keep plugging along, going in there, and coloring it in until you feel like it is finished. Just a tip that's something that is kind of fun, those pieces that fell out originally when you cut it out, You can always figure out how to tape those to the sides, and it will be able to be like a whole other gate added on to the original gate that you're working on here. So before you sit down, my friends, I want you to think back to the original little bit of how they have that stairway. When you sit down, you're going to see those two marks. You're going to start at the lower mark there, and you're going to work your way staircase up, 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 and over with your scissor. Go ahead and have fun.